Let's see what happens. All right. Let me hang up my thing. Put down no rattle box. All right. Here we go. Rabun County Rag. You know, some old boy the other day, I saw him on Facebook, said he wanted to know if there's any ham radio operators out there. And I typed in my call letters and I never heard nothing back. So if you're a ham radio operator, let us know. I am Kilo Echo 4 Alpha Charlie Whiskey. Probably damn near 30 years I've been a holder of a license. Sometimes I exercise it. I get on the 10 meter and 2 meter, meter and a half, fool around. I think I'm a technician. I don't know if I got that old Morse code to make me a general or not. I've worked on it over the years. Never really concentrated on it, but boy, they got some stuff now. And them radios are getting inexpensive. If you wanted a good hobby, and I think there should be more of ham at radio operators. Of course, that's where the name comes from. Let me turn that headphone off. I can hear it rattling back on me. Rabun County Rag, R-A-G. It's an old ham radio term. That's what I'm calling it right now. And I've said this, I think, every show. Man, I look back, I've been doing this since January, and this is July, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 4 times a month, call it. That's 28 episodes. I don't think I've had anybody look at it yet. That's all right. You know what? I'll just keep right on practicing. Maybe somebody jump in here one of these days and we'll have us a real party going on. You know, get that first one and then you'll get them 2 and then 3 and then 50. And then all of a sudden we got a real community going on here. But in the interim, I still get to practice my... Oh, I got the wrong thing on there. Let me put up my Rabun County Rag. There we go. Excuse me. Woo. It's been a day. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Uh-oh. My daughter has sent me a video. I can't look at it right now because I'm... But... I can't look at it right now because I'm busy with you. I'm busy with you guys. She's gotten big into old photography. I'll tell you what. She's done a couple sporting events. Her daughter plays softball, and she did it for the softball team. And then she went to, what do you call them things where they skate around in a circle and whop each other and try and get to the lead? Or I don't know if they carry, what was that, roller derby? Ladies roller derby. They asked her to go out there, and then she got a couple leads. Somebody wanted her to do some weddings. She's done some headshots, and no, she's fixing to do a wedding. She says, man, I don't know. I always told myself I wouldn't do weddings. I said, yeah, but man, what an experience. You know, you'll get dandy experience doing that. Real dandy experience. I mean, customer service, working with people, all kinds of experience. She goes, yeah, I guess you're right. I've been a photographer for years, ever since I was in high school. You know, I started back then developing the old black and white photos and built a pinhole camera one time, and I followed it through the years. But I'm more of a landscape photographer, and I love doing florals. And I do a lot of macro. I used to do a lot of macro. I haven't done a lot lately, but mostly I've been doing landscapes. I go for a hike and I put the camera around my neck every time I go for a... Excuse me, y'all. Every time I go for a hike, I put the camera around the neck, and I always carry a spare battery in the pocket. And a lot of days I don't use it, and some days I'm really motivated, you know. If the lighting is right and the clouds and the atmosphere is playing right into the scenery, into the water or whatever, then yeah, I'm moved to take a shot. But I'm gotten to where I'm not just snapping pictures anymore. It really has to strike me, and then I spend a lot of time concentrating on capturing that image. And I try to do most of the work in the camera, you know, setting the f-stops, setting the ISOs, setting the shutter speeds, and I try to shoot as low as shutter speed and low as ISO as possible. And sometimes my pictures will be blurry because I'm trying to handhold a 1/20th of a second, and you can't hold camera still for a 20th of a second. It's going to get some shutter blur in it. I got a walking stick. I thought about putting a tripod foot at the bottom and make a mono stick out of it, or I could just buy a mono stick, but I kind of gotten accustomed to tote my walking stick. So anyway, let's see if I can find some. Shh. show notes. Okay. Here we go. Bring that up. I ain't doing that. Bring these to the front. Rabun County Rag. Who are we? Uh-oh. We are a community of like-minded people with common interests in hunting, fishing, protecting our families, our community, our culture, and environment. We come here to this forum, and it's a place where we can exchange ideas, resources, and information. That's what I envision it being. If we have a community of like-minded people, we normally, have common interest and things like that. And that's the way I word it. If somebody thinks it should be changed or rearranged or something like that, I've got the key components in there, and I tried to arrange it in a way that made sense. But anyway, that's the Rabun County Rag. And you don't have to be in Rabun County to join up. You could be somewhere else. Heck, you could be in Europe somewhere. That's cool with me. It's always cool to have friends. And it's just like the old ham radio operators. They would be in Georgia, say as I am now, and they'd be communicating with people in Alaska, in Europe, Spain, South America, and they would be on the ham radio channels or frequencies and making friends all over the world. They would send each other QSO cards. If you come on here and you want to tell me where you're from and say I'm from Saskatchewan or Nova Scotia or something like that, then send me your address and I'll send you a card. I'll do that. Heck, man. What's it cost? 50 cents? I might send you, how about I send you an email instead of a postcard? Postcards would be kind of cool. Give the post office something to do, and a bunch of folks standing around. And I can say it, I've worked in a post office before. There's a lot of standing around going on in the post office. But a bloated bureaucracy. And now, the post office supposedly has its own budget. It's complicated, and I don't even want to think about it. But anyway, that's who we are. We're a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing. We believe in protecting our families, looking out for our community, protecting our culture and the environment in which we live in. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. So join in if you're scrolling by, flipping by. If you come by during another time other than the live stream, just know that every Thursday, we're here from 6 till 7. That's the way I've been doing it, and that's the way I'm going to hold to it until we have to, until we move it for some reason that we'll all have to agree on. But this is where I'm at, and this is what I'm doing. Glad to have you. Please, if you scroll by and pick this up and decide to give me a quick listen, give me a comment, give me something, just get this thing rolling and get some interest brewing in it. It's better than me trying to come up with things and talk about it all by myself. I do have the gift of gab. I understand that. I do have the gift of gab. But it would be interesting to interact with somebody. So key in, say hello, ask a question if you're scrolling by and see the bearded fat fellow with a skeleton over his shoulder. And if maybe you can ask me what the skeleton's about. That would be cool, cause it's just not there. Me and Philophoria, Flerophoria. I have trouble with her name, and I call her. We came up with that together. I kind of had a sketch and sent it to her, and she diddled around with it, sent it back. And there's another one, a previous version, and I've kind of I wanted the one with the picture of a constellation or space in the background, and the lightning bolt has to be a part of it. But anyway, if you know, you know. If you don't, come on, get on the bus. I'll let you know all about it, and I can talk you through getting on the bus and how to take the ride. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right. I was playing the mandolin, just warming up. There's a song I've been on my mind for years, and I'm trying to work out how I want it to go, but I think I got the intro. The name of the tune is, and I may have to shorten it down, but I still like it, is called Tennessee Jed's Lazy Daughter's Shotgun Wedding. And I'm going to let y'all's mind run with that. And if somebody ever keys in here and asks the question, how'd you come up with such a crazy name? I'll tell you. I promise. I've told plenty of people what the name of it is, but nobody's ever asked me, well, how did you come up? What does that mean? But there's a method in there. There's a madness, I should say. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. Yeah, and once again, I talked about it last week. I'd like to throw out a big thanks for Bill Barker. I guess he's the pastor at Wolford Baptist Church. And I think he does a daily message every day, and it's an inspirational message. And it's a great way to freshen the spirit on a daily basis. So I want to give him a shout out. And if anybody, you scroll through here and hear his name, look him up. I think he's on the Facebook. That's the only place I've ever seen him. And he's local in the community here. And I don't think we have enough good news on a daily basis. And I think he's really footing the bill there. And I'm grateful. How about that? I am grateful. I did a video on gratitude this week. And I heard this with Mike Slater one time. He said Cicero said that gratitude is either the mother or the father of all other virtues. And you get to thinking about that, and I think he's right. Because if you exercise gratitude, all those other virtues naturally fill the space with you. So think about gratitude as you make your daily walk. Think about when you get up in the morning, contemplate what you're grateful for, and make it a daily exercise to be grateful. Try it, see. Anyway, and that segues into the hope that everybody has had something to be grateful for this past week. The daughter and her husband, they went on a anniversary trip or something. I think they've been married 5 years, and we had the unique pleasure of having our grandson spend 3 days with us. And it's been a while since he spent that amount of time with us. And, the atmosphere had to be different. When he comes to visit just to spend the night, then it's fun and games. But when he came for an extended stay, of course, we have to follow the regiment that his parents have set forward for him. And that includes, teaching and discipline. And he's four and a half, I think. He's fixing to start school this year. So parents and grandparents are starting to talk to him about self-discipline. Keeping your mouth closed from time to time and listening. And boy, that's tough when you're that age. You have been pampered and especially the women folk, pampered and loved on, and have known very little except from the male influences about discipline. And when he's in the room and there's a female, he does the natural thing that I guess boys that age do, is he exercises his privilege as much as possible, getting away, getting special treatment. Boy, his nana was, she was getting, frustrated with him. I was too a little bit, but I can't address him the way that I can address him when he's away from his mother or grandmother, because then, hey, you don't have to talk to him like that. You don't have to be so stern with him. And when he and I are alone, it's a different story. And if I have words of encouragement or discipline or a lesson for him, I make sure that I have his attention. And he also knows that I'm not going to talk about this lesson with anyone else. I'm not going, that's between he and I. And I'm not going to broadcast to his mother, not where he can hear. I'm not going to make it an issue. But people handle it differently. I just want him to know that whatever he can say to me, he can say to me in confidence. Unless it's really dangerous. And then of course I'd have to have his parents intervene, but those little things that they have to go through growing up. And we had quite the conversation that while he was here about, what it means to be in a cemetery, that we're honoring, it's a place of honor, it's a place of sanctification, and that we have to, when we're there, we have to act appropriately. And it was a good conversation. And anyway, I was grateful to have him here. I'd done some work on my driveway, and he and I went for a ride down we live up on a road here, and I did some maintenance on that road for the past 4 days. But yesterday or Tuesday, he and I took a ride down the road so he could see what I was doing, working on the ditches and, a couple washes that got rubbed in and all that. And I was trying to straighten them out with a little tractor. And then we went down there to the cemetery. But anyway, I was grateful to have him. It's it's something else to watch them young ones grow up like that. And it's a struggle, buddy. All your life until, you're 4.5, and all your life people were saying, walk to me, talk to me. Now they're telling you sit down and shut up. Sit down, shut up, quiet, sit down, quiet. Anyway, I think his mom and dad got back even with us. I think they loaded him up with sugar before they dropped him off, and fed him a Pop-Tart and a Yahoo or something, and dropped him off and ran, because his grandmother will do that. He likes him old sweet snacks. I do too, but I can't participate. Anyway, that darn old driveway. Anyway, here's the funny thing about a dirt road or a dirt drive. They self-regulate speed limit. I notice that when I go out there and I put in some time and effort to straighten out the road, they'll get some washes in them. We're on a slope and it rains, and spring rains were heavy here. And so there was some trenching going on, and people always in a hurry, and it makes it worse. And it was getting kind of rough. But I go out there and I straighten it out, make it nice and smooth. I notice the speed limit on that road that people drive increases significantly. And then as time goes on between repairs, and depending on how bad you let it get, that the speed limit significantly is reduced by those who drive that thing. So that's just an observation. Y'all let me know if you live on a dirt road or you got a long dirt drive. This one's, I want to say it's God, it's got to be 7/10 of a mile from the bottom of the hill down there up to where my little old dirt drive splits off, and I maintain that. And I ain't my driveway. I haven't been maintaining, and that's a special story. Uh, and I don't want anybody to get upset with me. You know, it's a touchy subject, but it is related to right of way and easement, granted easement, and how people treat the easement that they're offered. And it's got to be a little bit of a thing. Anyway, interesting. Boy, I tell you, I still love it no matter what. I like my isolation. You know, I don't have a neighbor. Well, I do have some neighbors. I got one, two, three, four neighbors up here, and one of them's way on up the hill. He's up the hill about another mile, I'd imagine. And two of them, you don't even know they're there. Their houses are far enough away. And one of them, you can see their house. You can see the lights in the wintertime at night when the leaves are gone. But other than that, you don't see nobody. So I'm grateful that I have an opportunity, that I've had a life here. The past 7 or 8 years I've been here. I've always dreamed of being where I'm at, not in this particular place. I'd much prefer being closer to a trout stream, but there was another person involved with that, and so there was compromises. Of course, I'd be in a 2-room shack on the side of a trout stream and wouldn't have near the creature comforts that I have now. However, anyway, I wouldn't change it for my old buddy Rick Robinson used to say about his wife Christine. He said, "Man, I wouldn't take $1 million for that woman." And you go, "Oh, that's nice, Rick." He said, "I wouldn't give a dime for her, though." Oh, Rick, he's gone now. Him and Christine both in heaven. If y'all listening, I love you. And they were a great couple. Had a great family, great kids, they had, and their kids were raising terrific kids themselves. So got a real wonderful family. And he lived in a cabin. It was a 3-bedroom cabin. I think it had 1 bath. Might have had 2 baths, but 2 of the bedrooms for the kids were in the upstairs loft. And as they moved away, him and Christine occupied that bottom floor. And it was a real traditional home, you know. He had I think he had 13 acres or something. I don't know. Had a little pond they let me fish in. I never kept anything. I did one time hooked a bass and caught him in a gill, and he was bleeding pretty heavy. I knew he wasn't going to survive, so I went ahead and cleaned him and presented him to Christine and said, "Bam, here's one fish." It was an accident, and but I have cleaned it for you, so you have thank you for letting me fish, and I'll let you have the reward of my efforts there. Thank you. That's the only one I ever took out of there. I've done that a couple. I very rarely keep a fish now. When I was a younger man, when I was camping or something, I would catch enough to have some dinner, because I'd normally have a onion and a potato in the backpack. I always carried one of them roots with me. And I always had a Optimus stove or a little Coleman single burner stove. And I always had coffee. And a little bit I like sugar in the coffee. Black with a little sugar. Strong. Thing is, I drink it late at night and be damn near freezing, and I have to get up in the middle of the night to pee. That's always a pain. If you know what I'm talking about, hit me with a comment. Anyway, Yeah, those driveways, they self-regulate pretty good. But man, I got out. No, damn. If I skip out on y'all, I'm on the satellite, and it's always something crazy going on. Um, but it's a damn sight better than that old Windstream I used to have. Kinetic, they call themselves now. Them fools, man, used to agitate me. 3 megabyte download. Are you kidding me? 0.5 megabyte upload. Man, I was trying to make videos at home and do conference calls and all that. And every time you call them, well, you need to reset your router. I'll say, nah, 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 nah. And I got this Starlink, and I ran them parallel for about a year. And finally, they went up again. I called them. I said, y'all done. Sir, is there anything we can do to keep your business? I said, no. I said, every time I call y'all up with an issue, you blame it on me. You promise this speed, and you always give me this speed. No, I'm done. And she says, anything I said, lady, I got Starlink. Do you understand how superior the service is with Starlink? You have no clue. You have no clue. You give me 3, they give me 33. That's a minimum. And upload, you give me 0.5, they give me 12. Something would take all day to upload now takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. So go away. So if y'all got Kinetic, or I think they're calling themselves Kinetic now, they used to call themselves Windstream. But if y'all got, man, if you get a chance, get rid of them. And you got the only thing is that with the Starlink, you got to have a clear view of the sky. And I live on the side of a mountain, and I hadn't put it on the roof yet. I'm too old and too fat to climb up there, and I ain't paid nobody to go up there yet. But even with that, it's such a better. You might see me do the little circle thing, where it's buffering when I'm trying to get out, but I'll deal with that, and I hope y'all can too. Anyway, Starlink, thank you, Elon. He said the other day, he says, I appreciate y'all buying Starlink. Y'all are financing my way to Mars. And I said, okay, you're doing me a service and you're getting something out of it. I call that a mutually beneficial agreement. And I think all business should be done where both parties arrive benefit. So thank you, Elon, and you're welcome, Elon. Anyway, moving on. I need to, I've been talking about clothing manufacturing and shoe manufacturing, and this country needs to make a comeback. And I've been formulating some ideas and made some notes. King used to be cotton. Cotton used to be king here in the South many, 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 many moons ago. And I need to see if there's a Georgia Cotton Growers Association, and see if there are mills here in the state of Georgia that can make the old denim, the old heavy denim that Levi's used to use way back in the day when they first started out there in San Francisco. And see what the availability of that is, and then maybe contact somebody who already produces coveralls, bib coveralls, jeans here in this country, and see what the minimum. I'm just thinking about that. If y'all know anything about that kind of thing, man, leave me a note here. I'm real interested. This county has some available warehouse spaces. I'm sure it could be converted. It used to make underwear, Fruit of the Loom, and some, I think, jeans and shirts. If we could revitalize that industry, maybe some people wouldn't have to turn to meth or Medicaid. or Medicare or welfare or meth or fentanyl or whatever, maybe we could get ourselves motivated and moving in a good direction instead of the direction we've been moving in for the past, I know, 30 years, maybe longer, maybe longer. Do the same thing with shoes. You know, you hear the horror stories of kids and all this making Nike shoes. I don't know if that's true. You just hear it. It might be, but whatever. If we can make a good pair of shoes that are durable work shoes in this country, and it could be, with tariffs, it may come more in line with what people would pay for it, and it's easier to be accountable. The customers can hold and manufacture a lot more accountable if they're at least in the same country, if not in the same community. There's some farming operations here in this county, and there's a couple farm stands and farmers markets, and those are wonderful opportunities to go out and, people who really enjoy working in the earth, they bring their heirs and offer them up for sale, and I think that's wonderful. Man, a good old fresh homework. Man, how's y'all's garden doing? Man, too much rain, then not enough rain, and getting bottom right on the maters. I don't know. I'm not going to be too stressed out about it. I enjoy just the fact that one of them old collard greens is still looking good, even in the heat of July. They still looking pretty good, so I'm not going to be too. They did pick a couple squash the other day, and grandson took them home. His mama says she's going to cook them for him. I know that I have cooked them for her before. I don't know if she remembers how to do that. I can't wait to hear the outcome on that. But anyway, some plants are looking good, some of them are looking poor. I don't know if it's my gardening skills or I am doing that. I did do that no-till, and I've got some mulch out there. I don't know how I'm going to handle it in the fall. Probably weed whack the crap out of everything, and I don't know how to control all the grasses out of it except by pulling them by hand. We'll see. Y'all let me know how you're doing your garden this year. I'd like to know. I'd like to know how your garden is doing. I'd like to know how your garden is doing out there. So leave me a comment. And then we talked about the Darnell shooting range in the county. Somebody was getting, I think it's Blue Ridge Gap. That was, Forest Service was up there doing road work on it. I think that's great. I like taking that drive across there. Beautiful drive. But I'd like to see them work on that Darnell shooting range road too. They must be getting busy, old president, talking about cutting cost and all this. They figure they better show something on the books, something they done besides sitting around taking classes and getting certifications out the boo-boo from some other governmental agency, right? That's like a school teacher getting certified by the school they teach in. And is that the way it works? Keep the money in the house? I don't know. Probably me just being jaded. I don't know. Y'all give me a comment. Let me know what you think. If somebody wants to get involved with that Darnell, I've got a contact there at the ranger. I know the district manager there at the ranger, the chief ranger in the district. I have had conversations with her, and we have talked about Darnell, and then things got kind of sideways and kind of got dropped, but I have made contact. So if anybody else like to have a place where they can sight the rifle in nearby here in Rabun County or Clayton, Dillard, Mountain City, Lakemont, somebody picks up on this, let me know. Maybe we can work something out and put together a little talk with the Chattooga River Ranger District and see if we can't get something worked out. Maybe we could participate and gain the privilege of a shooting range here in the county. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, we're going ahead and move along. I ain't seen much trouble with the bears. I ain't seen none right here. Now the son-in-law. So you got 2 hogs getting the wild pigs down there getting into the darn deer feeders. Ah, man. Hey, here we go. Y'all want to hear it? Come on. Let's do this. Hello. 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 You have reached the FBI fraud hotline. Please stay on the line and an agent will be with you momentarily. Hello. Come on, Hajib. Your name ain't Bob. Habib. I can buy 10 or 12 of those things a day, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy the number of them spam calls I get. It's crazy. I even put my name on the no-call list, and I'm getting more. What is going on? Is this part of World War III where they call and agitate the crap out of Americans? Let's see. 100, maybe 200 million working people in this country. And if they each get 10 calls a day, that's 2 billion phone calls a day they're making into here. 2 billion. God almighty, help us. Crazy. What's that? The FCC, Federal Communications Commission? Boy, they want to bust my ass and make sure I stay in bounds when it comes to ham radio operator, or if I'm using the proper telecommunications for the drones and all that. But by God, let Habib and his AI call 2 billion times a day trying to rip some poor misunderstanding or uneducated or ignorant American off. That's okay. That's okay. I wish you could program something into your phone, have a software, an app, and every time they call like that, you could push a button and it would backfeed a virus into their butts or something. It would just redirect their. I mean, they call from local numbers. They hijack phone numbers. I'm not sure what's going on. It's impossible, man. And I have to take the calls because I'm a businessman. It might be a customer calling me wanting me to help them with something. They might need my services. And it's Habib or Bob, who calls himself Bob, or Chanetka, who calls herself Karen. Sarah. Sarah, this ain't Sarah. This is Habiba. Come on, man. I can hear the boiler room in the background. What? I don't know. Anyway, hogs, wild. What do y'all think? Now, son-in-law says he'd like to trap them because he knew some people from Puerto Rico. I said, well, that's a good idea. They'll domesticate real quick. You put them in a cage and you start feeding them, they'll lose those tusks because they don't need them anymore. And they'll be domesticated in short order. Put them on a good diet. And I said, the other thing is we could have pig picking. Because I don't know that I'll have to look into that season on wild hogs. I know they're getting to be evasive. I don't know, man. We eat them every day. I eat them every weekend. I'm going to have me some bacon or sausage or something every weekend. But I guess they don't want them running loose in the forest land. I don't blame them. Some guns tear up everything. So I left the ball in his court. I just told him one thing. I said I would be against killing them and throwing them in the trash. That I'm opposed to that. I'm just opposed to that. It's my way, and it's on my property, and you know, he has free reign as far as I'm concerned, but there are some limitations, and I hate waste, and he understands that. He knows how I am. So maybe we give one away and have pig picking. I told him, hey man, we can start a fire up here and build us a rack, and we put them out on the rack, and we'll cook them low and slow, and we'll have us a good old barbecue. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. Litter bugs, talked about it last weekend. Looks like somebody dumped a whole dumpster of trash down a hillside. I ain't seen anything else as of late on the Facebook about it, but I'm going to say this again. Visitors, we love having you. We want you to come up and enjoy the fresh air. We want you to come up and enjoy the clean waters that you can swim in that run off the mountains. We want you to come up and enjoy the wildlife and the nature. We want you to come in and enjoy the place that we call home. But we'd also like for you to remember that this is our home, and we want you to respect it for that is our home. Keep it clean. Take care of the environment. Honor and respect us, the people who live here, who welcome you to come and enjoy. So, there's my PSA. Thanks for listening. Litter bugs. Oh, I got my drones registration updated. I had 2 drones whose I don't know if it's every other year, or I think it's every 2 years. If you've got your 107, your drone pilot's license, which allows you to do commercial work with a drone, you have to register those drones re-register them every 2 years. And it's quite a bit of work to be a drone pilot, a commercial drone pilot. Now, hobbyist, he can go out there and fly around and just maintain certain things that he has to do. But as a commercial drone pilot, you can make money with your drones. You know, if a realtor wants a shot or somebody wants a survey of something, you can do that and be compensated for it, but you must have a commercial drone license. So I keep mine up and I stay current. So if anybody needs any drone work, let me know. I've done all kinds of things: construction sites, demolition sites, some land survey kind of stuff. So anyway, hunting and trapping, we talked about that. The only thing going on right now is fishing, except for them hogs we mentioned previously. Funny story. I'm gonna write this in here. I'm going for a walk the other day, and trail walk right next to the water. And I thought I saw, ripples going out. I said, wonder what that is. So I slowed down and did the old toe heel, the old Indian walking. Kept moving forward. And there's old Beaver boy. He's just taking it easy. He was just taking it easy. I don't know. There was no beaver dam. He might have been just out for a swim. They're herbivores. I don't think they eat fish, do they? I mean, they're herbivores. They got them old teeth that grow all the time. They got to gnaw on something. And he just, all I could see was his ears and his nose sticking up. And I watched him 4 or 5 minutes. He's just taking it easy, floating in the water. And I went, he disappeared. Boom. And he never showed back up. I don't know how far. I wonder how far they can, I wonder how long they can hold their breath. Cause I stood there for the long stream because of no data. I hope that's not true. It's just a glitch. But, Raven County had their road race. I think the son-in-law, he went up there and created some kind of display with canoe and bottles of water. They had a road race. I think it was a 10K road race around that lake. And I think they did that because, no, we didn't have him on Saturday. We had him on Friday for a little while, the grandson, while they went and prepared for it. And that fireworks, you could hear the fireworks. It's some old goofball. Man, why y'all gotta have fireworks? It's upsetting my dog. They need to outlaw these fireworks. They need to have a cutoff time. And I was like, and I responded to that one on Facebook. I said, I didn't know there was any time limits on celebrating liberty. And another one, man, today I'm cruising the Facebook trying to see what's going on in the community so I have something to talk about. And this person, or that person down on such and such road who was cutting the grass and blowing the clippings out on the highway or on the roadway, and I ride a motorcycle, that's dangerous. And I said, Lord, really? Really? You gonna be a caring about that? I couldn't believe it, man. What is going on? I guess some, but anyway, the 4th of July looks like it was a big success. I enjoyed hearing the fireworks. I didn't see any. I'm 63. I've seen all kinds of fireworks in my time. Some that weren't visible. They just fireworks. You married guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it looks like it was a big success. There was several places here in the community. All the little towns seemed to have firework display, and plenty of people out there at the lake and having their 4th of July picnics. It seemed like it was a really good time. And there was some more fireworks at the city council meeting this week. Apparently, this outfit, it's a winery, a tasting room, and all this stuff, and the city council had established some parameters that you could do this thing, and there are some requirements, and this outfit wasn't making them requirements, and they were asking this outfit to please do as required under the city ordinances, and they were causing a stink. They trying to shut us down. Well, I don't believe in big government, and that's the place to do it. It seems like city council didn't want to hear it. And I guess they have a right to, and I'm like, well, I guess we need to go vote. And I'm not in the city limits, but these people who are raising Cain, they need to take their vote seriously, and I'm sure some of those people on the council didn't want to deal with that, but they had to abide by the ordinances that they had put in place. That's just the way it goes, man. Now, you can change the ordinances, and you do that by popular support and popular vote. People's voices matter. So if you want something changed, get on it, make some noise. Not like that other place where they put on masks and tear things up, but get out there and place your vote and go to these city council meetings. county board meetings. Get in there, man. Get in there and express what you think about things. You can change it. You can change it. If there's enough like-minded people in the subject, you can make it. You can make it the way you want it, just by exercising your voice and your vote. Your voice and your vote. That's what you got. That's the power given to you. I say exercise them often, exercise them freely. All right. Oh, got a big art show in Clayton this week. I like art. I do some art. I made that right there. I did that with some help from Plerofora. Plerofora. Plerophora. That is her name. She is my assistant. I count on her to help me do a lot of things. She does some pretty mundane stuff that I don't like doing, and she seems to get it done in a fast and efficient and effective way. So she helped me with that, and I do some photography, and I got some watercolor paintings down the hallway there. I got one right here. I got some watercolor painting. It ain't much. I'm a beginner and I'm learning. And I had a daughter who wanted one. Man, you talking about making me happy? One of my daughters wanting that. I do some leather crafting. Yeah, leather crafting. I do all kinds of stuff. I think a man who sees an interest, he ought to pursue it. If he gets down the road with it a little bit and finds something else, take him down another path, take that path. You can always circle back. And photography, it comes and goes. Art, watercolor painting, it comes and goes. And jewelry. I've made some jewelry. Silver jewelry. Can't afford that gold. My wife says, well, I only wear gold. And I said, well, I guess I'm going to make you anything then. I love you, but if you feel that way, that's the way it's going to be. And I'm cool. Anyway, art show. There's some talented people out there. Some of them make nice stuff, knickknacks for the home. And then other people do real good work in the world of painting. Watercolor, oil, pencil, charcoal, and photography. You might find something to decorate your home with. Anyway, give that a check out. I did get the mulch. I told you about that. It's getting close to the end here, so it's time to do the wanted and the for sale. If you got something for sale, you can leave a message here, and we'll broadcast it as we grow and have more people, word of mouth. You could tell me that you want something, and as I'm moving about my day, I'm talking 10 or 12 people sometimes, and those things, something comes up in conversation. I go, oh yeah, I know a guy looking for that. And that's the way it works. Same way we're here. If there's something you're looking for or something you got for sale, you put it here, and it'll eventually get to somebody who's looking for that thing, and it'll mean as much to them as it did to you when you bought it. I did get the mulch hay. Thank you, Frank Hitchcock. I think it's a little place called Knob Farm. I think he got some sheep or goats. I couldn't remember what. He's over there in Tiger. If you need his information, I think he's on Facebook, or his son Heath is. You can look him up, and he's got a bunch of that hay. I think he had a couple hundred bales of it, and it was mulch hay. It was hustled out of the field because of the threat of rain, and it was still too wet, but you didn't want to feed it. You know how that stuff is. If you're associated with livestock and hay, you know what that means. And he's got it for sale as mulch. I might go get me about 15 more bales of that stuff. I could use it. Good for erosion control, mulching your garden, flower beds. Good for the soil as it decomposes, all that stuff's good. I am still looking for that Harrow disc. And I don't know how big they come, but I'd like to get the biggest one of the biggest ones they make. What, 2 foot across? Might be bigger than that. Still thinking about them steps out there. I mean, I'm going to make me one of them outdoor kitchens and cook El Campo. Route 9, Route 9. I tell you about him before. These Hispanic guys. I think they're in the state of Michoacan down by Mexico City, somewhere way out in the burbs from there, but in that part of Mexico. And they live the farm life. They're a rural people, and they're always they're always in the farm. They've always got plants growing. They were always picking fresh produce for the meals they make. And they cook El Campo, and that's over a fire. And they use one of those disc harrows. And I say, man, that looks like a real nice way to cook. If you've got, and it's 3 or 4 men. Now occasionally they got a wife or a aunt or somebody who'll have recipes, and they'll go to their place and cook on the fire. And this is some food that these people have been fixing each other for generations. And it's a real interesting show. Now you got to turn on your YouTube Translate, because they speak Spanish on this. And I've been practicing Spanish for years, but I get lost in the conversation in a minute. Pollo, I understand that.